18 away from 8.
The voice of the creative economy, Vincent Heeringa with Wammo on Kiwi.
It's from Idealog Goods, NZ Marketing, stoppress.co.nz. Mr. Heeringa, Vincent, good morning.
Good morning, Memo. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad at all. Well, apart from some kind of lower back pain. I'm not sure what that's about. I think I'm a bit young for
slouching.
that. Slouching. That'll be it, eh? It'll be this chair. Maybe I should stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walk around. I find swimming, I know this all sounds a little bit middle-aged, but since I started swimming, man, my back has improved out of sight.
Really?
Yeah, incredible. It's just developing those lower back muscles makes a big diff.
Do you go down to the local wave pool, do you?
I do.
Oh, you
actually.
do? Is it any good?
Well, it's crowded. You crash into lots of people. There are some people who probably drive a lot like they swim, or they swim like they drive, so they're all over the place.
That would be me.
You end up bumping into quite a few people, but,
Yeah.
that's okay. That's sort of part of it.
Because we're talking about the Mount Talbot wave pool.
Yeah, it's all about local in the show.
It's all very local, very inside ball right now. But I do want to ask: are there waves? What's going on with the wave bit of that?
Well, if you go down with your kiddies, every half an hour or so, they turn on a machine which creates. So there are two pools. There's the lane pool, which I swim in, and then there's the pool for the kids. And it's got a great big wave making machine, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, okay.
Why go to the beach?
Yeah, when you can do it all indoors. All right, hey, let's get to our topic of conversation today. John Key is now in New York City. It's the big kid or little kid in the big city.
He is. It's the little kid in the big sandpit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you make of his agenda over there, and the various people he's going to go and see?
Well, I think he's a lucky guy. He's getting to see all the top knobs, isn't he? He started with Bill Clinton and is going to finish the day with Barack Obama. Look, I was really pleasantly surprised at an announcement that has caught me by surprise. I don't know how many other people he's caught by surprise, but there's something quite statesmanlike about John Key overseas. He did this last time, and when he was interviewed by the Wall Street Journal, and he came across very well. He came across composed and showing real leadership, and said a couple of surprising things. I mean, last time when he was talking about the recession and about the importance of trading your way out of recession rather than piling tons of government money into programs, and that was the right message for that audience.
Did the Wall Street Journal ask him any tough questions? Because no, because they it's kind of like the Wall Street Journal planted their own man in New Zealand. You know?
You think he's... Well, okay. Well, we did touch on this last time we spoke, that he comes from that set, doesn't he? He comes from a trading, banking background, so, they like those kind of guys.
Yeah.
But look, he's obviously thought very hard about what kind of message could he go out with, and the message is this, that at least 40%, maybe higher, of New Zealand's emissions comes from agriculture. And despite us being a developed world, we have a very similar emissions profile. A developed world, we have quite an interesting emissions profile that's kind of similar, more similar to a developing country. So, whereas many developed worlds have industrialised, and their emissions come from coal-fired plants and factories and so forth, we are still very much a land-based economy. And so his argument is, well, if we're going to drag the developing world into a low-emissions, carbon-constrained world, what we need to do is create a global alliance around the science of agriculture and making agriculture come under emissions control. And that's a very smart move, because you simultaneously look like the good guy because you're on the side of the developing countries. But if he could get some kind of global alliance where we are getting green investment money down for clean tech and green technology around agriculture, he's also then brought a whole lot of investment money into our scientific community, into hort research, from crop. It's not hort research anymore, is it? It's food and crop food
research, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of agricultural science here that would benefit from, particularly from US money, plus our own agricultural industries. You know, imagine if emissions reductions was one of our key triumphs here as a farming country.
So you're saying, and the technology we develop here then could be rolled off around the world?
Absolutely. Oh, well, it already is, Wammo. You know, we produce a huge amount of horticultural breakthroughs in terms of genetics, in terms of breeding, in terms of disease resistance, and so on, that gets exported.
Okay. So has he set a clear roadmap for this, though? I mean, is there a clear plan in place?
No, that's the thing. That's all a little bit surprising, but very smart. You know, if he could use this opportunity to start the discussion, you know, that these kind of events are where the high-profile, big idea stuff gets, you know, strutted about, but it's the kind of idea that you could see would actually stick. It's probably a little bit like the cycleway. You know, that's actually a good idea.
I mean, I'm not sure of the complete details of the talks that have just happened there in New York, but the general guts that seems to come out of it, though, that the two main emitters of dirty emissions around the world, China and America, haven't really said anything of substance at these rounds of talks.
No, nobody's talking figures, so there's nobody, as I understand it, just from reading the media, there's no commitment to particular reduction numbers or a time frame. What President Hu from China surprised people with was, the surprising thing from both Hu and Obama has been at least a philosophical commitment to serious reductions within the next couple of decades. And Hu did talk about by 2020 a serious cap target, but he didn't say what that cap would be, you know. But that's at least a step forward. You know, even 2 or 3 years ago, both China and America were not philosophically committed to emissions reductions.
Now, the other reason he's there in New York is his capacity as head of tourism, the tourism minister.
Yeah.
Do you see that there are direct benefits to the Prime Minister being the tourism minister and being, say, doing things like doing the top 10 on the Letterman show? There are direct benefits for New Zealand tourism?
Yeah, well, there've got to be some, don't they? I mean, it's actually a very smart idea that the leader of the country also leads the largest, or represents the largest industry. So, you know, it's probably a bit like Obama, you know, probably should be head of the military or something. But, you know, the Letterman show have given us a very good ride. You know, last time, every time he talks about New Zealand, he speaks very fondly of it. I don't know if the guy's ever been here, but do you remember when he was interviewing the Australian actress from formerly married to Tom Cruise? What's her name?
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, Nicole Kidman. Yeah. And he kept going on and on about New Zealand. You know, he'd say things like, so you were born in Australia. I like New Zealand. Have you ever been there?
Yeah, it may be. I mean, or we just the fall guys, you know, like we're the jester in the court, you know.
I'm sure we are. I'm sure we are. I mean, look at our exports are, you know, at the moment the fourth most popular comedy folk duo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure we are. And in fact, one of the Herald has done an excellent top 10 questions that should be asked of New Zealand, and one of them is, do all New Zealanders look as dorky as the Flight of the Conchords? It's a very good list, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a great opportunity, and you know, that's one area where I think John Key actually does do very well. You know, he has a quite laconic sense of humour, so he probably is well liked internationally because he's probably the easy guy.
The hopes and dreams of a nation will hinge on John Key's top 10 this week on David Letterman.
Top 10 list. Well, let's hope they're not too serious. I'm sure they won't be being Letterman.
No.
But yeah, very interesting. Let's follow that agricultural international kind of alliance thing, because we already are well advanced in our technology and in our scientific understanding of, we're just damn good at it. We're damn good at agricultural science, and increasingly are investing into the space. So let's hope that's the beginning of something interesting.
Vincent, thanks very much for your thoughts. People can find you on Twitter at Heeringa. Also rambling around the various websites, Idealog, Good, NZ Marketing and stoppress.co.nz. Cheers, Vincent.
Pleasure, Wammo.